Thank you, sir. Call the Personnel Finance meeting of April 8th, 2013 to order. Need approval of the minutes, or wait a minute here. Approval of the agenda, please.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Apparently we have no public comment. Next, we need approval of the minutes for last.
Move to approve the minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, none. Next up, we have monthly financial report. Jim Latham. Get a move to receive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. We're presenting to you the financial statements for the 2 months ended February of 2013. On the expenditure side, our benchmark is 16.7%. Total expenditures are at 16.5%. And as I mentioned last month, this reflects the quarterly transfers, which are done in the middle of the quarter. Again, this is, the financial statements are on a cash basis. If we look at the revenue is under the pace of prior years, but would not be of a concern yet this early in the fiscal year. So, do you have any questions?
Questions, commissioners? Any questions? Thank you, Jim. We need a motion to receive the reports. We don't, up front. Okay, we're good. Next up, we have our committee items. Second here. HR department, we need to adopt a resolution to change several bylaws that have been affected by the changes we made in their retirement systems. Discussion, please. You have anything to say on that, Crystal? Or? Okay. No fair reading your agenda now.
I'll move to send these to the full board.
Second. Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Apparently passed unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have a request from the administrator to approve a $15,000 expenditure for continuous process improvement provided by Van Daly and Associates. Need to talk on that at all, Mike? Pretty straightforward. Any discussion? Need a motion? Motion first approved and made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Appears to pass unanimously. Thank you. Next up, we have a request from the administrator's office to award a contract to DC Byers Construction Company for final site restoration at the Riverwalk Motel site. We need to send this to the full board. Any discussion? Commissioner Elwell.
Maybe for the benefit of the public, you can give us just a quick, the administrator can give us a quick rundown on what it is, and where does this leave us budgetarily with that project, assuming this gets approved? Or Adam?
The last time you saw something for the Riverwalk, I believe it was in February, and you amended the budget. There was still $300,000 remaining in the budget that was unbudgeted. So this number, it's to RAM Construction, not DC Byers. It's to RAM Construction. This is within the budget you previously set. You'll still have $300,000 left. And the only outstanding issue is the drainage, to make sure we have the approval of the city for the drainage on it.
Okay, so cutting to the chase, if we approve this, if there's no other issues other than the drainage, we'll be under budget, well under budget.
We'll be under budget by $300,000.
Okay.
This is just the award.
That's right. Yep. And this is for sealing and finishing and fencing.
Okay. Did you get a motion yet, Mr. Chairman, or not?
No.
If not, I'll so move for approval.
Thank you. You got a motion and a second? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Passes unanimously. Next up, we have a request from the, actually a policy recommendation from the administration to forward the proposal to the full board. This is in regard to department deputies' salaries. Discussion? Commissioner Elwell?
Well, whatever the pleasure of the chair is, we can discuss it if you want, or I can make a motion and make a motion there, nodding med. I'd move alternative B. Support.
Any discussion on that before we vote? Commissioner Elwell?
I can go second if you want to go first, Dave, doesn't matter.
Commissioner
Okay.
Lutchka? Okay.
Which
Oh,
Dave?
I thought you passed, I'm sorry. Commissioner
Tell me.
Elwell?
Okay. I made quite a bit of notes from the proposal that the administrator got to us on all three alternatives. And really, I don't see much difference between A and B. I think the big difference is the 90% cap versus $1,000. And for lack of a better description, I'll call it kind of a sales pitch, I think, for Plan A, which was the $1,000, up to $1,000 max of the elected official. Part of the sales pitch was that that would allow more latitude. But I think, and it was noted that there was one chief deputy that would bump up against that. And I think if I've done my math right or recall right, the same situation would apply with the 90%. And yet when I looked through the proposal, there weren't the same sales pitches there for Plan B as there were for Plan A, even though they should have been or could have been. Just a couple of them, and I think there's a key word with the chief deputies, and I'll first say I think we've got great chief deputies in the county, but there are references in the document to hiring of chief deputies. Granted, I guess we hire them, but they're really appointed. They're appointed by the elected officials, and we have no say in that, qualifications or anything else, and I'm okay with that, but it's not technically a hiring. There's also mention made of recruitment and retention. I again say we've got great chief deputies working in the county, but we don't really recruit them or pick them or decide how qualified they are. We only choose how much they get paid, and I'm okay with making that fair and equitable. I have had a problem for some time, the more I thought about it, of how I think we've let ourselves get jockeyed ourselves into this disparity between at least one department where the chief deputy and the elected official are butting up against each other. And I think using the 90% pay takes care of that issue. We'll have to make some adjustments prior to the next election for that upcoming election. But I don't want to get jockeyed again into having to pay so close that we're again having the chief deputy bump up against the elected official, because it's just a never-ending cycle then. There was a table that was put in the document that listed other counties and how they do it, and I guess I'm surprised, or would be surprised if there are no other counties that don't use the non-union philosophy, setting it for chief deputies, but it appeared that there's none. It's also noted in there, a couple of them, one in particular has it noted that the pay for the chief deputy is capped at no more than 90% of the elected official. I think that's inaccurate. I think it's actually set at 90% of the elected official, which is not what we're talking about, but that's not accurate in what was posted, if I've researched it accurately. There's another one where it's listed at 75%, and I don't know if that's set at it automatically or a maximum of that. But again, I've given a lot of thought, and I just think the 90% one is the most fair, does the same things that Plan A does, only uses a percentage, so I'll be supporting that. Thank you.
Commissioner Lutchka.
I know of 2 instances in the past that where a deputy was recruited. I don't support B. I think A is the better option here. I can't find some wording that I was questioning in item B before when I was reading it the other day. But I think option A seems to me to be the best option at this point because of a lot of the same reasons that Commissioner Elwell talked about.
Thank you. Commissioner Rice, any input?
Just that I support it, so obviously I support the 90% threshold. I've done all these numbers, and except for the one position, nobody's at that 90% threshold. In fact, some are quite far from that. And if you look at the chief deputies, assistant deputies, their pay is substantially less, and it just goes down and down. So from my position, this is certainly the best way to go.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have really been researching as well the difference between $1,000 versus 90%. And I guess we could make an argument either way for which one is the fairest, but I guess I'm leaning more towards option A, which is $1,000. Even though I know that I guess there's one position that's going to be redlined, but I really think that that is the better option from the standpoint I can see at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any further discussion? Need a motion? Okay, I'd like, can we vote on this? We're going to attempt to vote on our board doc. Oh, no. Good now. Motion passed, 3-2. Send that on to the full board. Next up on the agenda, we have a request from the IT department on purchasing a new appliance that we'll call Exagrid for information backup. Connie? Welcome.
We have one Exagrid backup appliance now, and due to our increased data storage and the desire to have that efficiency and effectiveness off-site, we are proposing an additional one, and it would be paid for out of our imaging already assigned funds, since imaging basically has been driving the need for an additional appliance. Any question? Yes.
Connie, when did we buy, the last one was a 23 terabyte also?
Yes, it was.
And when did we buy that, and how full is it, out of curiosity?
It's full right now, and we bought it a year ago. It filled up very quickly because we transferred so many of our backups from tape into that appliance and met the need at that time, and now our need has grown.
So when did we get that one, and how long do you expect this new 23 will last?
We're in pretty good shape right now. I would hope the new one would last 2 to 5 years.
And we got that last one when?
A year ago, but it was at that time picking up all of our backups from historically. Yeah. Commissioner Lutschka? Same question? Okay. This is expandable.
Support?
We have a motion and support. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Motion passes. We've got one other item, Connie?
Yes. The next item is an approval to enter into a contract with Comcast to increase our bandwidth. And I gave a little historical background there. In 2008, we had 3 megs. In July of 2008, we increased it to 10 megs. 2011, we increased it to 15 megs in waiting to get fiber to this building so we could go to a higher limit. Comcast has fiber in a vault right behind the building, and at this time, for an additional $800 a month, we can actually increase now to 100 megabits, which is an incredible. We've been waiting for this, and we have been hitting the wall every day.
Any questions, discussion? Commissioner Elwell?
Connie, is there any wisdom in also tying in phone service with them or not? Or are we tied into what we have now for a length of time?
We're good on the phone system. We did our due diligence and just switched to phone providers and very reasonably about 3 to 6 months ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Support?
Okay, for a motion and a second, we're going to vote on this using our board doc electronic device again. Okay, it passed unanimously. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Next up, we have Department of Aging. Marcy, tell us what you're looking for here, please.
What's happened in last year in 2012 was a reduction in the amount of hours for our home care services. And we're finding with our home care workers who are leaving our employment to take other positions, they're leaving in order to have a position with more hours. These are our casual workers. There's a limit, an annual limit, which equates to about 18 and a half hours a week for a casual position. So we had 4 part-time home care positions and several years ago, and then when senior millage passed in 2004, that increased to 8 part-time home care worker positions. And we've had different employee groups and even a survey of employees in the Advisory Council on Aging. Our home care services are a top priority with Meals on Wheels. So we're thinking in order to lower our home care worker turnover, get the workers assigned sooner, less turnover for the clients too, so they have consistent workers. I'm requesting 3 additional part-time home care worker positions. And I've also submitted a budget adjustment. It would move funds from casual to part-time. So the net change to that budget is 0. So it would be, in essence, fewer casual workers and increased part-time workers. Still wanting to keep some casual employees because it works well with scheduling and scheduling substitutes, getting workers out, especially in the out-county areas. So we want to continue casual but have more part-time by adding 3 part-time home care workers.
Support?
Commissioner Commissioner Lutchka?
Part-time workers, we have no fringes for any of them, correct?
It'll be 29 hours a week, so it would be, they would earn paid time off, and they would be part of the deferred, I'm sorry, defined contribution, the pension, and paid time off, paid holidays. So those are the advantages, and then by being able to work more hours a week is what the draw is.
Further discussion? Okay. I'll vote electronically. Vote electronically. Okay, should be on your board. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Marcy. Okay, next up, we have a 2013 budget carryover. Mr. Latham?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're asking for your approval to carry over budget items for ongoing projects that are in our capital improvement fund and in our equipment fund and a couple of others. These are ongoing projects that span more than one fiscal year. As far as the numbers are concerned, from the public improvement fund, we're asking for $1.8 million carry forward for all the projects, the largest one being the Riverwalk Hotel demolition. Also, the Falling Waters Trail Fund, $279,000. The Sparks Park Renovation Fund, $13,000. The Equipment Replacement Fund, $327,000. And the carryover from it's really the district court request here, $5,400 in the general fund. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Need a motion, please?
Move to the full board, the capital budget carryover.
Any discussion? We'll again vote with the board doc. Passes unanimously. Thank you, Jim. Next up, we have, it's not on our agenda, but Building Authority, Tony Salmon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'm chairman of the Building Authority, I'm on it along with Rick Shealy and Karen Kaufman. We really don't have many construction projects going on right now. We are doing our home visits. Those are going really well. Rick's been involved in the roof replacement at the medical care facility. We will be coming back most likely next month with a resolution for a refunding of bonds with for the Lifeway projects. We may combine two different issues, one from '99 and one from 2006. It'd be approximately, if they're combined, it'll be approximately $5.8 million, result in a present value savings of $740,000. But we'll see how that goes and let you know if it's going to be coming back next month or not. And that's all I have unless there's...
Any questions, discussion? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Next up, we have the claims. Anybody gonna pay the claims? Pardon me? Oh, I guess we haven't seen them. Adam's got them. Adam's paying them. Okay, got a motion and support for claims. All in favor? All in favor of paying the claims? Aye. Stay after for 15 minutes in from recess and read the claims. Questions on the minutes from other boards or anything? Minutes? Public comment? Don't appear to be any public comment. Commissioner comment? Meeting's adjourned.